Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good time.
You too. Yeah, you driving the bus. Try to anyway. Today's destination, I'm in the Moraine Park area in Rocky Mountain National Park, headed to Cub Lake. So I'm here, and then this is the Cub Lake Trail. So I'll probably go to Cub Lake and back. I think that's the plan. Okay, let's do it. So just a quick up and back to Cub Lake, and then yeah, that'll be good for today. Fall is coming, the temperatures will be cooler, and then I'll be back on the bicycle. Look how pretty this is. When I rode the bicycle up to Fall River a few weeks ago, it was just so hot. I got so overheated. Like, I really didn't feel good. Almost passed out. Like, I stopped and my face was just beet red. So I learned my lesson. Gonna chill for a few more weeks until the temperatures cool off. I don't expect to see any animals today. It's just too hot. This time of day, they all find shade and they sleep. And I don't blame them. I'm already so glad that I came up here today because it was on the recommendation of my boss Tim and my son Evan. I see myself coming back here in the fall when it's cooler. This meadow is going to be great for wildlife watching, like seeing the elk in their natural habitat, not roaming around town. Evan said that it's a beautiful meadow, and he's right. And there's a bunch of marshland up there, so I bet moose even come out here. But not today. It is way too hot. Although things have slowed down considerably. The hiker shuttle leaving from town was actually half empty, so that's cool, but there's still a lot of people here. Phew, I'm so hot, I'm dying. This trail is rated medium. It's been really easy so far. I haven't had my poles out, but it's getting a little rough. I guess this is the medium part. I'm gonna take my pack off and get my poles. Whoops, getting high again. What would my parents have said? Nature is not always pretty. Some animal pooped right on that rock. I don't know what did it, but ew. I'm at the point in this hike where I'm like, okay, where's the lake? Pretty sure I've gone 2 miles now, so yeah, hopefully soon. It's like the never-ending trail. Okay, I do believe I have finally made it to the lake. Ooh, and it is pretty. This is so pretty. Look at all the lily pads. And you can see back hill on that hill, that's old burn scar. You can tell that's been burned, but there's new growth coming up, as you can see. All right, this one's for Evan and my bosses. I made it to Cub Lake. And it is absolutely stunningly beautiful today. Look at that view. Here I am at Cub Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. I would like to interrupt this amazing hike for a Collie public service announcement. Unfortunately, it has been decided that I am not going to be hitting the road on the bicycle this fall. I am actually going to stay put here in Estes for the winter, but I do have I have a weird fall. I have a lot of different little things going on, but I'm not going to be taking off on the bicycle. Interesting times here in America. When I first took off a few years ago, especially the first time I was bike packing in Florida, everybody warned me about, pitching my tent anywhere and that I could be arrested, and that in Florida, especially, being homeless was illegal and they were cracking down on it. At that point, I really didn't worry about it because the majority of my time I spend on the road is in the country, not necessarily in the cities. However, I do like to go through the cities, and sometimes I have to be in a city for bike repair or for resupplying something. And being in a city, like a new city that you've never seen before, and being able to go through it on the bike paths, they usually have paths that go all through the center of the city. It's so cool, it's amazing, it's part of the whole experience. However, now with growing civil unrest and then more military and police presence in Washington, D.C. right now, and growing in all of the cities, I don't feel safe. And the sad part of this is that so many people also have warned me about being careful, kind of like don't talk to strangers kind of thing, like there's murderers out there. I'm actually not scared of the general public. It's the military presence and the weapons, and not really a fan of that. Yeah, and let's say that they do. So I did get stuck in several cities in the last couple of years. I was stuck in California, in Santa Clarita, for a night because something was wrong with the bicycle. I had to stop at a bike shop. It ran late in the day, and I ended up pitching my tent in the heart of the city on a bike path. That was kind of funny. And then in Miami, I couldn't get through Miami fast enough. I ended up right on the outskirts of the city, just off a sidewalk. That was not a fun night. And then Montreal, I'll just never forget Montreal. Montreal is just so big and sprawling. I could not get through it in a day. I ended up pitching my tent by like a train and a bus station, and then the raccoons just attacked me all night long. So this is all to say, I can't avoid cities, and sometimes I even have to camp in the cities. So with that being said, what if they kicked me out of my tent? What if they took my tent? What if I got arrested? What would they do with the bicycle? I don't have much, but what I do have is good stuff, good equipment that I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. And what I have, I've worked hard for, and it's mine. And just the thought that it could be taken away by the National Guard just on a whim, nope. I think it's probably better if I just don't go. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I get that, but to me this really doesn't have anything to do with being homeless and the homeless people. They're building up military for something else, which also scares me. So not a fan of that. Civil unrest is real, it's growing bigger, and it's a little scary. Another issue I have with being on the road right now is the cost of food. That's my number one expense when I'm traveling on the road on the bicycle, is food. And it's just, the cost of groceries right now is astronomical. And usually I stop in these little shops along the way outside the cities, which are even more money. Nothing kills my budget faster than food. And it's easy to say, well, cut back on food, but when you're traveling and cycling constantly all day, you need fuel for your body. You have to have food. And oh my gosh, I would go broke so fast. People really get invested in my platform when I travel on the bicycle. They love it. I think there is a danger element to it, which, there is, and it does get your adrenaline going and your heart pumping, but the adrenaline that I would be facing in the cities, not worth it. I'm in a great place right now, and I think it's just wise to stay where I am for now. I'm not saying I'm never going to go on the bike again. That would be false, because I just love it so much. But it's just America's in a tough spot right now. So I also have a crazy schedule this fall, a lot of little trips to do, and I'm going overseas next year. So it's worth saying that I still have some of the trip to pay for, and which is, that's going to be easy, but after the trip is paid for, I still need to have spending money and living money, and I don't want to go into my overseas trip counting pennies. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to worry about money. So where I am right now, as I've said, is fabulous. I'm working with a great family, and life is not ideal, but I do have a storage room to live in. If you know, you know. So I have a roof over my head. I'm working with this great family. I have an easy, fantastic job that also allows me to do these adventures out here in Rocky Mountain National Park and wherever. And I was telling my friend Nicole that it won't be like last year. It won't be like North Dakota. I actually love North Dakota. I know it's weird, but I just loved it so much up there. But it did get boring in the winter. There wasn't really enough snow to do anything, but you just had that bitter cold and wind. So everyone just gets stuck inside and it got boring. It's not going to be like that here. We have snow. I have snowshoeing. I can finally build that igloo I've been wanting to build. And just the winter landscape here is just stunning. So I'm actually kind of excited to winter here with a few trips in and out. So that is what will be happening for me this fall leading into next year. I'm not going to really talk about like the trips and stuff I'm doing. I'll let it be a surprise. Time to finish up this hike. Let's go. The whole reason I came back to Colorado was for the summer, was to be closer to friends and family, because the state of our economy and our country in general didn't really seem that great. And now a few months in, nothing has happened per se yet, but things don't seem to be moving in a positive direction. So yeah, I think I just might be better off hiding in the mountains. I spy the parking lot. Woohoo! Okay, I made it back to the trailhead. So this concludes another edition of Crazy Cool Colleen on the trail, otherwise known as Collie. I'm glad I kept it short today. I'm just melted. It's so hot, and so a longer loop next week. And oh my gosh, I'm hoping it cools off a little bit. We'll see. Get outside, get active. Live your best life, people. Bye.